going on.
Thank you so much.
Feel like $1 million.
Shout out TMZ, you up?
Let me check out that rig.
TMZ stands for the Mayweather Zone.
How'd you find me, bro? I got my disguise on.
I love my TMZ family.
Welcome to TMZ Sports. I'm Mike Babcock with my guy, as always, Mojo Muhtadi. Mojo, we're going to start with LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers. Of course, King James is now 40 years old, and I think most people, Mojo, believe that LeBron James is almost done with his career, right? A couple of more seasons in the NBA, and then LeBron calls it quits, and he leaves, he walks away as arguably the greatest NBA player of all time. Or maybe not, Mojo. Maybe he doesn't walk away, at least not anytime soon. So a couple of days ago, Mojo, we ran into Dalton Knecht. Knecht, of course, is he's heading into his second year now. There he is, first-round draft pick, Mojo, 17th overall pick to be exact. He is, of course, one of LeBron's young and really talented teammates. We asked him about Bron's future. How much more time does he have left in the league? This answer shocked me.
Could I just ask, are you keen to stay a Laker? There's a bit of conjecture about it. I'm desperate for you to stay on the team, man.
We'll see. I'd like to be a Laker.
You'd like to stay a Laker?
Of course.
Are there any other places you'd be down to go, or at this stage you're just all in on the Lakers?
All in on the Lakers.
That's awesome, man. Hey, you're around LBJ quite a lot. How long do you think he has left? His mind is there, his body seems there. Do you think he could keep playing for a number of years?
Yeah, I mean, he said he can play another 5-10 years, so.
5-10 years.
Me and Bron's running for another 5-10 years.
Oh, you think you could?
Oh, yeah, why not?
You'd win a few championships in that time, I'd say.
Oh, yeah, for sure, got to.
Mojo, I mean, it would be remarkable. Guys don't play in the NBA until they're 45, certainly not until they're 50 years old. But I think if anybody could do it, it's LeBron James. He wouldn't be a superstar anymore, I wouldn't think, at that point. But I believe he could do it.
I love that Dalton said he can play another 5 to 10 years. Immediately corrected himself. He's like, all right, hold on. I know I'm trying to hype up and gas up my teammate right now, but now we're just sounding kind of crazy. Let me go ahead and immediately check myself and make it 5 to 10 years. Of course, the young guy's going to say that, right? That kid's feeling invincible. He just had his rookie year. He's going to his sophomore year. He knows he's got a lot of years left in his career, regardless of if that's going to be with the Lakers or someone else. So, of course, he's going to look up to his MVP, the team captain, his mentor, and be like, yeah, of course my guy can go. Look what he's doing every single week in the season. He's operating at a high level. He's, one of the best players in the league, has barely, fallen off since his physical athletic peak. But who knows if LeBron is feeling that way, right? And I think of all the mental and physical wear and tear that guy has gone through, all the injuries that he's incurred over the years. I mean, once you get to that point in your career, I mean, you might be 1 year away from everything falling apart. Like, I don't want to say this is exactly a case study here, but, I mean, hey, take Aaron Rodgers, right? Like, this dude was MVP. He was on top of the league. Blows out his Achilles 5 seconds into his first year with the Jets. Second year doesn't go in as well. And then all of a sudden now you got a guy who's MVP who's struggling to get re-signed, finally finds a place with the Steelers. So, I mean, that can easily happen when you got a guy that's 40 that's been around for that long. So who knows? That fall off comes quick.
I honestly think if he wanted to, he could do it. He could hang around. Now, what's also really interesting is with Dalton Knecht. Remember, he had been traded last year for Mark Williams, for the center from the Charlotte Hornets, and then the trade fell apart after it had been agreed to, Mojo, by the teams because Mark had an injury that the Lakers weren't aware of. So he shouldn't even be on the Lakers right now, if not, again, for that trade falling apart. But the trade did fall apart. He is on the Lakers. We'll see how many more years he is LeBron James' teammate. All right, Mojo, we'll stay right here with basketball. Not any current NBA stars, but two former NBA stars making their Big Three debut over the weekend. Now, the Big Three League is back for another season, and you had both of these two guys, who in Dwight's case is a Hall of Famer, who, again, making their Big Three debuts. It's not necessarily, though, the play, Mojo, that has people talking, but instead a scuffle that Lance Stevenson and Dwight Howard got into right on the basketball court.
All right, let's see. I mean, both guys have their hands up. They're talking. The push. Yeah.
Now, once it got to that point, they started locking up.
Yeah.
I mean, you can try your best. That's two big cats right there and underneath.
Yeah, not ideal. Spilling into the stands like that.
No. And I know Cube is calm in his chair, but he's not. His demeanor is showing it, but I know he's not happy with what just took place.
That's two big, strong guys, Mojo, getting into it right on the basketball court.
I probably shouldn't say it, but I like to see this, right? I like to see some dudes going ham. I mean, maybe it's the former defensive lineman in myself. Maybe it's the pro wrestler in myself. But I'm okay with this. This is actually a pretty civil scrap, man. Like, this is actually how we used to fight in football practice because trying to punch another guy in the face with a helmet on was a very stupid move. The coaches would actually get mad because now you're talking about getting hurt, breaking your hand, missing games. These dudes were just wrestling, man. It was like a respectful fight. Hey, you're irritating me, man. You're bothering me. I'm not going to let it stand. We're not throwing punches. We're not trying to take anybody out, bloody any noses, but we're going to have a good old wrestling scrap. I got my money on Dwight Howard always. I mean, that has been one of the strongest dudes when he was in the NBA for years. I remember him throwing up 315 like it was nothing way back when most dudes in the NBA couldn't even bench 225. Plus, I've seen that man on Celebrity Special Forces on Fox, and he was a force. He should have won. They actually, in my opinion, kind of reworked the rules to get him out.
Wow.
It was a coup, Babcock. They set him up, brother. He should have had that victory. Anyways, I'm okay with this respectful fight. Side note here, Caitlin Clark definitely should have taken the offer here.
Joey Chestnut returning to the Nathan's hot dog eating contest after a year away. What should we expect when the GOAT looks to win his 17th mustard belt? We'll ask the competitive eating legend when he joins us next on TMZ Sports. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike Babcock here. We told you last week that Joey Chestnut and MLE, Major League Eating, were in discussions to bring the 16-time mustard belt champion back to the 4th of July hot dog eating contest, of course, on Coney Island. And now it is, in fact, a done deal. We are so fortunate to be joined by the man himself, who will now have plans on July 4th. Joey, congratulations. How you feeling, man?
Feeling good. Getting hungry. It's it was a mouthful. There was a lot of little moving parts, and we figured it out. It's everybody put our egos aside and just it's gonna be time to eat some hot dogs.
Yeah, so we did a story last week and said, hey, looks like this thing is going to happen, and you could just feel the excitement from the fans. What can you tell us, Joey, about how this kind of came together and how now you are back, and obviously everybody is so thrilled about it?
It's last year, I guess we learned from our mistakes. Maybe last year we kind of both sides dug in our heels. I was working with a company that they didn't think I should be working with, and I said no, it wasn't against any part of our old agreements. So it's we just kind of learned, we met in the middle, and I think when communication breaks down, bad things happen. So we started talking again, and we got it figured out.
How tough was it to watch last year and not be able to be a part of the competition that you had dominated for so long? And how excited are you now to know that in just, 3 weeks here, you're going to be back on that stage in Coney Island?
2.5 weeks it's going down. Last year was tough, but it's life. Eventually, I'm not going to be competing there, and it was like, it would kind of suck that it wasn't my choice, but it kind of makes you hungry when you have to go without something in order to know how much you appreciate it. And I'm definitely hungry for this year. 2.5 weeks. I'm going to be putting down some hot dogs.
Are you going in to make a statement, even more so than you would typically as the competition approached? Is it like, hey, I'm gone a year and I want to remind everybody who I am?
It's yeah, I'm going in. I'm gonna drop the hammer, and it's it's from first minute to last. I want to be dominant.
What's your goal? How many
Oh,
dogs do you want to put down?
oh my God, it's gonna be ridiculous. Yeah, that 80 number on the 4th of July has always been amazing. It'd be kind of a dream, but if conditions are right, that's doable. But yeah, I'm the 4th of July record 76. So if I could get close to that, that'd be insane.
You know what's funny, Joey? We talked to some other competitors, and it's like they openly admit, they go, "Yeah, we've got no chance if Joey competes in this competition, but we want him there." And I think that probably says a lot just about the attention you bring to the event, and just what your presence means there. That they know they probably can't win if you're there, but they still want you there anyway.
Oh yeah, we're the competitive eaters. We're a family to a degree. There's not that many people who can relate to know what it feels like to eat 50 hot dogs. And so these guys, they have my back, and I know what they're going through. And we're on the 4th of July, we're competing against each other, but we're pushing each other we all want to see each other do our personal best.
Last question. Obviously, like we said, it's not that far away, 2.5 weeks. Have you been training in anticipation that this was going to happen and you would be able to compete?
Yeah, I have been training. I've been training, and I'm fasting right now. I'm getting ready for my next practice. So I knew I was going to be doing something on the 4th of July, and I'm really happy this worked out.
What's the message to everybody out there, to the fellow competitors, the fans, to anybody out there who is so excited that you're back?
Oh, I'm happy to be back, and I'm happy to be eating on the 4th of July in front of America.
Yeah, we'll all be watching. Thank you, Joey. I appreciate you, brother.
Oh, thank you.
The Boston Red Sox shake up baseball by trading Rafael Devers to the San Francisco Giants. Former Red Sox GM Dan Duket tells us why this divorce was bound to happen when TMZ Sports returns right after this. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike and Mojo. Mojo, there was an absolutely huge trade yesterday, courtesy of the Boston Red Sox, who, after sweeping the New York Yankees in a series over the weekend, they then sent their best player, Rafael Devers, to the San Francisco Giants. They truly, Mojo, they shipped his ass across the entire country. This coming after a feud between player and team. There were a couple things, Mojo, that happened, but a lot of this actually had to do with the fact that Devers, who was a third baseman, they moved him, the team did. They put him as their DH, and then there was some talk about actually moving him over to first base. Rafael Devers said, "Hey, look, I don't know how to play first base, and I don't want to do it." There was sort of an impasse there, and ultimately, at the end of the day, they pulled the trigger, the Red Sox do, for a guy that they just signed about 2 years and change ago, Mojo, to a 10-year, $313.5 million contract. He is a 3-time All-Star. He's a World Series champion. I mean, a bunch of home runs already. This guy is a really talented player, not even 30 years old yet. So, a lot of Red Sox fans, especially, Mojo, you got Giants fans who are pumped. Red Sox fans say, hey, look, we didn't get a whole bunch to help our ball club right now. They got a couple of pitchers, Kyle Harrison, Mojo, Jordan Hicks. They got a really hot prospect named James Tibbs III, who was the Giants' first-round draft pick last year, but he's 22 years old. He's not ready to play right now. So a lot of Red Sox fans say, hey, look, we don't have anyone to help us right now. So was it the right move? Was it the wrong move? Was it something that could have been avoided? That's what we asked a guy who has been behind a lot of big moves over the years, Dan Duket. Dan Duket was the general manager for the Bo Sox from 1994 to 2002. He is somebody who was part of the incredibly exclusive Red Sox Hall of Fame. We talked to him a little bit earlier today, Mojo. We asked him, hey, is this something that could have been avoided, Dan?
I don't know if people followed it very closely, but when I was in spring training, it looked to me like there was, trouble in paradise, because the Red Sox signed Devers to that long-term deal. They had a 10-year deal, and then once they signed Bregman, I don't know that their interests were aligned anymore, right? And so there's been workplace issues about where Devers going to play, how he's going to play. He got off to a terrible start, and then recently he's been hitting really well. But I think it was a divorce, and yesterday the divorce was made final, right? I don't think their interests were no longer aligned between the Red Sox and Devers.
The Boston Red Sox said, too bad there isn't a team in Alaska or Hawaii, because that would be even a farther place that we could send you to get you the hell out of here. Raphael is deuces, baby. I got to say, I get it. At the end of the day, not a good fit, right? You know, whether he's hitting great now, the team's needs change. You got to do what you got to do to protect the team. But for Raphael, you got to do what you got to do to protect yourself, right? And, you know, right now I want to focus on the request for the position change. I think there's probably a lot of people out there that are like, look, when you pay a player that much money, you do what you're told. You play the position that the team needs you to play. We are paying you to be a team player, not an individual player. And I can certainly understand that. And there's all the claim in the world for something like that. As a player, though, it's not that simple, right? You made it to the big leagues by playing a certain position, by honing a certain set of skills for the entirety of your career. And when you get to the big leagues and a team asks you to just switch a position, it's not always as seamless as you might think. You might go from being a star player to being average or being a poor player while you're trying to figure out how to navigate playing that position. And what is that going to do? In the short term, yeah, you're keeping the team happy, you're abiding by your contract, but in the long term, you know, you're completely destroying your star power, your ability, your resume, and for that, you might have an early exit from your career. It might end early. So I understand both sides of this, and that's why sometimes it just simply doesn't work out.
I think ultimately for the Red Sox, they also get themselves out of a $300 million contract. It leaves them a lot of financial flexibility here. So I'm not so sure that this is a bad move for the Red Sox either, Mojo. Tyreek Hill wins a 100-meter race and then calls out the world's fastest man. Is Cheetah biting off more than he can chew? We'll explore when TMZ Sports rolls on right after this.
On the TMZ Celebrity Tour, we've seen huge stars like Kevin Hart, Ben Affleck, The Rock, and Jamie Foxx. Buses depart daily from the Hard Rock Cafe in Hollywood, so head to TMZTour.com and book your tickets for the TMZ Celebrity Tour.
Welcome back to TMZ Sports, Mike and Mojo. There we go, Mojo. A little preview of what's to come here. Tyreek Hill, Cheetah, ran in a 100-meter event over the weekend, and he won, Mojo. Tyreek Hill ran a 10.15. That's an incredibly fast time for somebody who has not ran in a race in how many years. Now, after the race, Mojo, Tyreek Hill, as you see him coming straight for the camera here, he held up a sign for Noah Lyles there, Mojo. Noah could never. Well, a lot of people, including Justin Gatlin, the 2004 100-meter gold medalist, saw what Tyreek Hill had to say about Noah Lyles. They criticized Tyreek Hill. Mojo, Tyreek Hill has heard what a lot of those people had to say, and he's firing back.
I woke up this morning, and the first thing I see on my phone is Justin Gatlin saying that Noah Lyles can walk a season one. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I can't argue that. But what I can argue is that was like a season opener race. So first race of the season. I haven't ran a 100-meter dash since JUCO, which was 2012. So that's over 13 years ago. And I don't train for the so make all the excuses you want, but that lame American 100-meter dash run that y'all got, he can't with me, bro.
So there it is, Mojo. He says it's the first time he's run a race in how many years? I don't think anyone's saying that's not an incredible time from Tyreek Hill. But the reality is, Noah Lyles in the Olympics, this past Summer Olympics, he ran 0.37 seconds faster, which is that's a lot when you're talking about a 100-meter race, Mojo.
I like that. I'm a big fan of the trash talk game. I can't imagine in Tyreek Hill's head he thinks he could actually beat either of these guys in a race. But maybe he does. I don't know. Maybe it's that confidence that helps him be as successful as he's been on the field in the NFL. So I'm okay with this one. Obviously, Noah Lyles, a fellow T.C. Williams High School Titan, just like myself, would obviously dust this man. But who cares? We can all have a little fun here. I mean, as for Tyreek, I would tell him that, hey, we're getting a little bit close to season here. Maybe it's time to focus in on training for football. But this is actually one of those rare position crossovers where by racing and doing this, he is actually focusing on next season and getting that top line speed. It actually might even help him more to be doing this and just train a little bit differently than he's been doing. Shock the system a little bit before going into training camp and shutting these things down. So I'm actually fully on board with this. There's a reason why a lot of college athletes, run track in the off season. It's all still working towards the same end goal, but I'm a big fan of trash talk, Babcock. I got zero complaints with this one.
Yeah, I hope this ultimately happens one day, although I think a Tyreek Hill versus ISHO speed race would be much more competitive, but we'll see what happens. Just so everyone knows, again, Tyreek Hill ran a 10.15. Just to make the U.S. Olympic team in the 100-meter this past Olympics, you needed a 9.88. The difference between 10.15 and 9.88 is an eternity in track, Mojo. Anybody out there who thinks that's a close time, they're worlds in between. All right, we got to go. We are out of time, Mojo. We got a big show planned tomorrow. Lots to talk about. It's going to be great.
That's right, Babcock. It'll be the best show since today.
I'm a lawyer.